Hey guys, this is Dominique back again with another video. The purpose of today's video is for those of you who are thinking about buying a house. And so in this video, I will try to explain everything that I went through, that my husband went through on buying our house. And I must say that what worked for us may not work for you guys. So I'm just going to try to help you out as much as possible. So I am going to just jump right into this little scenes. And sorry for my voice. I'm actually having sinus problems, so please excuse my voice. So first slide is know your credit. Now this is a big important step in getting ready to buy a house. You need to know your credit. And there are different websites out there. Some that are free and then some that you have to pay for. And it'll tell you your credit score and it'll let you know what is all on your credit. So when I first started out buying my home, before I even started the process, I on my credit card, I actually have free credit score services. So I logged into my account, I checked my credit score, and it also showed me a bunch of things that I did not know was on my credit score. So long story short, I was reviewing the list of things that was on my credit score, and I came across a bunch of hospital bills. And so in my head, I was thinking some of these bills are over 7 years old. And the rule of thumb is, in most cases, that if your hospital bill is over 7 years old, they are supposed to just do away with that bill. You should not be responsible for that bill. So what I did, I contacted I contacted the collection agency for the hospital. And you can get that number from the credit bureau. And so I called them up. I gave them this really sad story about me not even knowing about the bill. Like, I thought that I didn't even know I had hospital bills on my credit. Mainly because I had never really checked my credit until I came to the process of me wanting to buy a house. So I gave them this sad story about being a single parent and not being able to afford the bill. So in some of the cases, the 7-year-old hospital bills, they took those completely off of my credit score because I wasn't even supposed to be responsible for those. The ones that were not 7 years old, I managed to either have a chunk of that price knocked down, where they'll like set up a, like they say if you pay $200 of this $800 bill, we will do away with it and write it off. So that's what I did. I would pay like $200 off of an $800 or $1,000 hospital bill and just get it paid off. And so they took it off of my credit, and I made sure that I said, if I pay this bill, will you take this off of my credit? And they agreed to do so. So that's how I got all of those hospital bills off of my credit. Now, I must say that when you are paying these items off, you need to keep up with your receipts, because sometimes you will have to go back and prove that you did make those payments. If you cannot afford to pay a big chunk or lump sum amount of money, then just ask them to set up payment plans, because a payment is better than no payment. So do that. Okay, so I have been having a credit card since about the age of 18, I believe. And I know a lot of people are afraid of getting credit cards. They think that, credit cards will ruin their score even worse. But actually, credit cards can help build your credit. I would say get at least one credit card and use it for like gas or groceries, and just spend about $50 a month on it if you can, and pay it off right away. And that's how I helped build my credit. Also, I don't know if the phone company reports, but some just try to get things that actually report to the credit bureau that you can get, that you are able to pay on time. that can help build your credit. So find little ends and odds that can help build your credit, such as a credit card. Also, if you currently have a credit card and you have like a high balance, you should definitely try to get those balances down on all of your credit lines, because the lower those balances are, the better of a chance of your credit score going up. So you don't want to have like a lot of high balances on any of your credit lines, because the credit bureau, well, I guess the credit people or the finance company will look at that and they'll be like, you know, this person has high balances. I wonder, you know, can they afford, you know, another loan or afford another bill, because they're already in the dark with where they are right now. So try to get all of your credit lines or credit card accounts or any kind of account that you have, whether it be your vehicle, any loans that you have, student loans, try to get those balances down if you can, because the more credit, I'm trying to think, how can I say this? The more room you have for an extra loan, mortgage, the better. Another thing the mortgage company is going to look at when they are looking at your credit is if you have a lot of high inquiries. And what I mean by inquiries are, have you applied for a lot of things recently? Because normally, I believe, do not hold me to this, but I believe if you apply for a credit line, it stays on your credit score for, I believe, 3 years. And you can comment down below if that's correct or not, but I believe it's 3 years that will stay on your credit score. So, and for an example, say I go to a furniture store and I apply for some furniture. You really don't want to do that while you're trying to buy a house or right before you're trying to buy a house, because a lot of credit inquiries will knock your score down. So it's kind of tricky, because you want to apply for things to get your score to go up, but the more you apply for, your score kind of gets knocked down as well. Now, there are certain things that you can apply for that won't knock your score down, and I believe a house is one of those. I believe. I'm trying to think if the house knocked our score down. But they have like a hard inquiry and it's a soft inquiry. Now, the people that you're applying for your house through, I believe they can do a soft inquiry. So try not to apply for anything if you can around the time that you're trying to buy a house, because I believe it will stay on your credit score for 3 years, and that's just, it doesn't look good. It looks like you're trying to apply for too many things. It looks like you don't have any money, so you're trying to apply for credit. Just don't do it. It's just a big no-no. Also, you should not let any of your credit lines become delinquent. You do not want that on your credit score. Anything, any kind of delinquency. So the rule of thumb is, if you cannot afford to make a payment, well, if you cannot afford to make the full payment, that's what I should say. If you cannot afford to make the full payment on your credit line or whatever, if your car note or whatever it is, if you cannot afford to make the full payment, try your best to make a minimum payment at least. Like on credit cards, you don't have to pay that full, whatever it is, $300, however much your credit card is. You can make a minimum payment of $25 or whatever the minimum payment is, because a payment is better than no payment. You do not want anything delinquent on your credit score, because it looks really bad and it's hard to get off. You can also hire a person who will basically clean up your credit score. Like if you do have any delinquencies, any repos, anything negative on your account, you can hire someone who can go in and clean up your account. Now, I was able to clean up my account on my own I can do a separate video on how I went about doing that, because I'm always looking for ways to not really spend a lot of money if I can do it myself. So if you do a lot of research, there's so much stuff on Google. There's so much stuff out there, so many resources on how you can, you know, do different things on your own without having to pay a professional. So if you're interested in that, I could do a separate video on that. Okay, and so what I found interesting is that some mortgage companies will also look at your past history of on-time payments. For example, the mortgage company that I went through, they actually contacted my my lady that I was leasing my apartment through. They contacted her to see if I made my payments on time, and they actually had her fax over a document showing that I was on time every month at my apartment complex that I was living in before we bought our house. So in that situation, you might need to start making your payments on time, because some mortgage companies will contact your lease owner or whoever you're renting your home through to ensure that you're making your payments on time. And sometimes if you're younger, they will dig deeper because they feel like young people aren't responsible. So it's a little harder for us. It can be a little harder for a younger couple to purchase a house. Now, this pretty much sums up what you should do before you start the process of buying your home. In this next slide, I am going to talk about what you should do when you are ready, when you have your credit in line in order, when you are ready to purchase your home. So if you are interested in watching this part, just stay tuned, okay? Okay, so at this point, you have gotten your ducks in the row. You are ready to start the process of buying your first home or second home or whatever home you are ready to buy. So right now, you're going to start your early research. You're going to be checking out the newspapers, magazines. You're going to be seeing what type of home you are interested in. You're going to be asking for prices. You're going to be taking notes to ensure that, you know, you have his and her sinks or whatever it is that you are interested in buying in this process. Next, you are going to be trying to think about what type of house can I afford, or how much house can I afford. If you're married, you know, you're going to be counting you and your spouse's income. So how much can you afford and still live comfortable, because you don't want to be house poor, in which you are basically putting all of your money into the house and you barely have food on the table to eat. So you definitely don't want to be house poor. So you want to get something that you can afford. You also want to look into the different type of mortgage loan companies there are out there, because different companies have different rates. Different loan mortgages companies have different amounts they require you to put down. Some require you to put 5% down. Some require you to put 20% down as a down payment on your home. 20% is a lot for some people, so you want to check out that mortgage company rates and see what you can afford to give comfortably. So just make sure you check out that. I know a lot of first-time home buyers, they really want to start off with a really nice house, but sometimes you have to start from the bottom and work your way to the top. You can't always just, and I'm not speaking for everyone, but some people, you know, you can't always just jump out there and get the best thing on the market. You have to work your way up. And for us, me and my husband, we were actually able to get a really nice house on our first go-round. So we basically saved up a bunch of money and were able to put down a really nice down payment. So if you have a spouse and you're not in it alone, you know, you can work together, save up your money, and it's a lot easier that way. For all the single parents out there purchasing homes on their own, I do understand, because for the longest I was single doing a lot of stuff on my own, so I definitely understand your situation as well. It just requires a lot of saving on your part. The next thing is you want to get pre-qualified or get pre-approved for a credit for your mortgage. So basically, you'll be checking out different companies, and I believe they have a company. What is that company called? I forgot the name of it. But it basically, you type your information in on this website. It lets you know what mortgage company is best for you. I forgot the name of it, and I wish I could remember, but if you comment below, I'll try to research it and find it for you. But it'll let you know what companies you are pre-approved for. Some people like to find a real estate agent. Now, me and my husband, we did not go that route this time because the real estate agent, they're like the middleman. They get a percentage of whatever you're paying towards your home. I like to knock out the middleman. If you look at any of my other videos, you know that I am always looking for ways to save money. I'm always looking for ways to save money. So if I can knock out the middleman, I will do the work myself. So this go around, me and my husband, we were our own real estate agent. We went around on our own looking for houses. We knocked on doors and scheduled appointments to do a viewing of a house. We didn't have a real estate agent do the work for us, but we saved thousands of dollars because most real estate agents, they make about $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 or more off of a house that you're buying, because that money is going to them as well. So knock out that real estate agent if you can. I'm not trying to knock anyone's job, but if you're like me and you want to save money, then just take out the middleman. The next step is shop for your home and ultimately make an offer. And so once you find your dream home, that home that you just fall in love with, that you can't see yourself without, make an offer, because there are so many other people out there who are looking at that same home. So you definitely should jump on it, make an offer, make sure that your offer is good enough to where they won't resist, because especially if that's a hot house and a lot of people are looking at it, then you definitely don't want to miss out on the chance of purchasing that home. Once you get that home, or once they accept that offer, you also want to get the house inspected before you purchase the home. I know a lot of people, they don't want to spend the money on getting their house inspected, and so later, after they're already moved into the home, they find things are wrong with the home, the foundation isn't stable, or the house is shifting, or the hot water heaters stop working. Whatever the case may be, the roof may be bad. You need to get your home inspected, because the house may look good on the outside and it may appear well, but there are things that you cannot see that could possibly be wrong with the home and can cost you thousands of dollars in the end. So definitely get that home inspected. Okay, next you need to make sure you work with your mortgage banker to select your loan, to make sure that you're picking the right loan. So basically, me and my husband, we wanted to make sure that we had got a fixed rate. And you definitely, I know in most cases, most people would prefer a fixed rate on their home, because they don't want a mortgage payment that's spiking up really high one month is low, the next month is super duper high. I want a fixed rate. I want my mortgage payment to be the same every month. So make sure you get that fixed rate and make sure that they can lock it in for you. So definitely keep that in mind. Also, get your home appraised, because sometimes home sellers, the person that's selling your home to you, sometimes they try to sell the home to you for a price that is too expensive, that the home isn't worth. So you want to make sure that you're getting a fair price for your home. So make sure you get your home appraised. And most mortgage banker, most loan companies, they will require you or request that you get your home appraised, because they will not let you go through the process without getting it appraised. Different appraisals cost differently. Be ready to spend some money when you're buying a home. And I'm not saying like a lot of money unless you're buying a really expensive home. But appraisals cost money. Getting the inspection done costs money. Sometimes when you get your inspection done, they want you to get your house sprayed for termites. So that costs money. There was like a lot of fees, a lot of things that we weren't expecting to have to pay to buy our home, that we had to pay for. So just be expected for, just have some money to the side for things that you might not even expect to have to pay, because paperwork, filing paperwork through the court, just all kinds of money. So definitely put money aside for that. Keep your paperwork, your home buying paperwork, in a binder or a folder. Keep all your paperwork in one section, because you never know when you might have to go back to that paperwork to refax something. Always just know where you're gonna, like if you don't have a job where you can just fax stuff off like right offhand, just know a location. I know some Staples, different stores will fax things for you. So just have that type of thing on hand so that you can go and fax it to your mortgage company if they're not in the same town that you're in. Another tip that I would like to note is most homes are supposed to close within 90 days. Do not think that your home is going to close on that 90th day, because sometimes sellers can drag out the process. Your loan company could take forever to process your documents. They have to call your job to verify your income. There's just so many things that are going on that's taking place in the background while you're buying your home. You have people requesting records from back in the 90s or whatever. So it may not close when you think it's going to close, and that's okay. And if your house does not close on the day that it's supposed to close, you can always go back and amend the paperwork, and just do an amendment and write over on, have everyone redo the contract, put another date on there of when your house is scheduled to close. So at the day of closing, you will get together with the seller. Everyone will sign all the documents that are required to purchase the home. You will pay for your down payment. Most of the time they will take it in a check. I have never known anyone to take cash. So you'll pay with a check. After that, you're basically ready to move in your home. The seller would have so many days to get up out of the house. I believe the person that we purchased our home through, I believe she had like 15 days to get out. She sent me a text message and asked for a few extra days because she was having some issues. And at the time, I was just so ready to get up in our new home. That was my first home, and I was just so excited about being a homeowner. But I did let her use those extra days that she needed to get the rest of her things out. So, you know, things like that can happen. But if that's pretty much it that I can think of off the top of my head. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to put them down below. The house buying process can be very complicated. I know myself, it can be very frustrating. They're constantly requesting paperwork. You got to constantly answer your phone. To make the process go by quicker, anytime they request any documents from you, just make sure you get it to them as soon as possible, because in the end, it will make the process go by a lot faster. If you're slow by getting things to them, then the process can be a lot longer. So just keep that in mind. As I said before, if you have any other comments, if you have any questions, if you found this video to be helpful, please thumbs up. And if you are interested in watching any of my other videos, do not hesitate to hit that subscribe button, because I'm here for you guys, and I know that you're here for me as well. I'm a new YouTuber, and I am just excited about my channel growing and expanding, and I just want to thank all of my current subscribers. Thank you so much for your support, kind comments. I appreciate everything.